So if you're like me, you probably want to obtain the best echoes fast and level up that pesky data bank. And well, I actually managed to achieve this, but I have made quite a few mistakes along the way. So I've decided to create this video to teach everything you need to know about the echoes and the data bank, so you don't end up repeating my mistakes and have the best account possible. Okay, so let's start with the most crucial part. The higher your level data bank is, the better the rarity drop rates will be for echoes, as you can see here. And the majority of people who are rushing to level up their data banks are following a very simple process. You go to the echo gallery right here and just check which echoes you still have not obtained, and then afterwards, you will want to obtain the max rarity that you're allowed to own that echo based on your data bank's level. And what you'll usually do is just click on this track button and start locating the echoes whose rarity you're still missing. So for example, if your data bank is at level 10, you will have a 30% chance to obtain purple echoes and 70% chance to obtain blue echoes. This also means until you unlock data bank level 15, the max rarity of an echo you can obtain from open world is going to be purple. And then after level 15, you will then be able to start farming gold echoes, or basically as they're called 5-star echoes. Now, with the basics out of the way, the first thing you want to do is save up all the green and blue rarity echoes until you hit data bank level 15, or even better, level 17. You see, in the data bank menu, if you go to the data merge option here, you can drop in any 5 echoes and then either 1 or 2 new echoes will come out. This process is completely random, but it does follow one critical rule. The rarity will depend on your current data bank level. So it's extremely important to save up these green and blue echoes that you have sitting in your inventory and then immediately use them up when you hit data bank level 15. Now, you might be wondering why. Well, because now you have a chance to obtain from this data merge the highest 5-star rarity echoes, and obviously, if you didn't have that rarity of the echo, this will also grant you the data bank XP. Just look at me gaining tons of new 5-star echoes and a lot of data bank XP after doing the data merge here. Also, if you take a close look here, we can see that at level 15, there's only 30% chance for a 5-star echo, but at level 17, the odds become better, and it's now 50%. So if you can keep holding these green and blue echoes until data bank level 17, you will have an even greater chance to obtain tons of new 5-star rarity echoes. Keep in mind, in order to unlock data bank level 15, you need to have reached union level 30, and then to unlock data bank level 19, you will need to be union level 40. So as you can see here, while I have maxed out the data bank level, I am only union level 32 as of recording this video, so it'll take a while for me before I hit union level 40. Now, if you didn't know already, co-op mode is a great way to farm the echoes with your friends or other players, since everyone's world will contain a certain amount of echoes, and they only reset after each day. So in other words, you can hop between different player worlds and keep farming these echoes together, and this way you can forgo the usual limited amount of echoes you will have in your world. Also, co-op unlocks at union level 22, and you can join the other players' worlds by clicking this button here. Now, if co-op is not your cup of tea, and you just like to play solo, then my suggestion would be to save up your elite class echoes until you're done farming all the common echoes and the world bosses for the day. What do I mean by this? Well, obviously, as you already know, the data bank dictates the current rarity drop rate, so you definitely want to obtain elite class echoes with the most favorable rarity drop rate you can achieve for the day. And while there are plenty of common echoes to farm, and you can keep repeating and farming the world bosses over and over again, the elite echoes are a lot more rare, and you can run out of them pretty fast. So keep this in mind if you're playing just by yourself and don't wanna or you cannot do co-op yet. Now, there's a few ways how you can quickly obtain 5-star echoes. I'll talk about red mist enemies in a moment, but first, have a look at this mode called Illusive Realm. I believe at union level 17, you can start playing this game mode. It's pretty fun, at least to me, but what's more important here is that you can redeem 2 elite class echo selectors from the shop. It doesn't cost much, you can easily obtain the currency, and honestly, these 2 echoes are going to be insanely cracked, because not only all of them from the selector will have elemental damage as their main stat, but also they will belong to the set that matches the element. For example, Colcharo is an electro damage dealer, right? Well, I just redeemed these elite echoes from the selectors, which both provide electro damage from their main stat and belong to the electro set. So as you can imagine, Colcharo now is a beast thanks to these insane 5-star stats. However, on the same note, don't fall for this trap here, where you can see some 5-star echoes in the shops where they all start with the word Phantom. You will find one of them in the Illusive Realm shop and few more in the Points shop that you can redeem after doing Tower of Diversity and hologram challenges. Because here's the thing, these items right here are just the skins for the echoes you already own, hence why the name starts with Phantom, and some people also just call these echoes shiny versions. They don't add anything to your account besides just a custom look for that echo, so if you want to spend the resources on actually useful materials first, don't redeem these rewards just yet, only when you think the time is right. This next tip is a pretty quick one. If you take a look at the milestones book here, at least I didn't notice this at first, but you can actually obtain data bank experience by completing all the missions of each stage. And for example, you see this requirement to do 5 tacit fields to complete the mission? Well, as you know, tacit fields require wave plates, and it's not recommended to do until you hit data bank level 15. And even then, it's better to spend wave plates on boss, character, and weapon materials first. However, in this case, for this specific mission, you just need to complete 5 different tacit fields, and you don't have to redeem the rewards with wave plates. So I have done this, which resulted in all completed missions, and I got a big chunk of XP to help level up my data bank. Now, this next crucial thing I learned has to do with the bosses. Okay, so first of all, as long as you have obtained a boss echo for each party member of your current team and the main stat is kinda okay, let's say you reach databank level 15, and now you can start farming these bosses for a 30% chance to obtain their 5-star version echo. Well, I would say don't bother doing this, unless you badly need a crucial main stat from the boss, like attack percent or critical rate, because, as you know it, you can waste a lot of time by just trying to extract the echo from the boss, but if that's not enough, the chance to obtain the 5-star version of it, let's say at databank level 15, is 30%, as you already know it. Instead, I would recommend for you to just push the databank to level 17 first, which then increases 5-star chance to 50%. So at least now it's a coin flip when it comes to determining the rarity of the boss's echo that just dropped, which is massively better than the 30% rate from level 15 databank. However, here's another sneaky thing you probably haven't noticed. If we go back to the data bank, you see this enhanced drop rate sentence, and if you click on it, it shows target classes, overload/calamity, and remaining chances, which in my case is 0 out of 15. Well, every week on Monday, this counter resets back to 15. And now for the next 15 times you fight a world boss or the weekly boss, the chance for them to drop the echo increases by 90%. And later at databank level 20, this will be a guaranteed 100% drop rate. And keep in mind, this counter will be reduced the moment you defeat the boss, not when you claim the rewards. So here's my tip. Whenever you log in after the weekly reset, do the first 15 bosses that you would consider to be most beneficial for the current characters you're trying to build. For example, I have been getting really bad luck with Tempest Memphis. I once obtained a 5-star version of it that has critical rate as main stat. When on Monday this enhanced drop rate resets, I will go and farm Tempest Memphis boss, because now it's a 90% chance it will leave an echo behind. So very easy to extract the echo, and then I can check the main stat after every fight, and if I get lucky and get what I want and have remaining enhanced drop rate out of those 15 attempts, I would move on and do another boss for my other character I'm trying to build. Keep in mind, this enhanced drop rate does not guarantee a 5-star echo of the boss. You will still depend on the randomness that's seen here, but it does mean it will be very easy to extract the echo from the boss when they die, as long as this counter has remaining uses. Because, trust me, I have been fighting this stupid monkey over the weekend, and at one time, he didn't leave an echo behind after I defeated it like 8 times. So this can be a huge time saver if you have those enhanced drop rates remaining. Now, one more thing I want to talk about are the red mist enemies. If you didn't know, there's a specific number of these special enemies that can be defeated once in your world, and some of them can drop a guaranteed 5-star echo version of themselves. Now, some of them will drop a 4-star version, but you can still try and defeat them all, if you can, and I will leave a link in the description where to find them all. Keep in mind, some of these fights can be very tedious and time-consuming. For example, this big bear I fought who is level 120, I basically just abused used its line of sight and spammed range attacks with Mortefi by standing in a safe place. Same thing I also did with the Scorpions here, and after I defeated them, I did get a 5-star Bear and 5-star Scorpion Echoes. However, these two fights took me like half an hour to do because of my low level team. So keep in mind that some of these fights are very time consuming, and it might be worth it to just go and farm the regular Echoes. And later on, you can come back and beat these enemies when your account is of higher Union level. But if you do attempt these fights, I highly recommend using ranged damage dealers like Mortefi, Chixia, and so on, because you can usually find a safe spot you can fire from and just keep spamming the attacks until the enemy is defeated. But yeah, I hope you found this video useful. I'm sorry if I don't post so much as other content creators when it comes to Wuthering Waves. I'm just trying to put in the hours to actually show you everything I achieved and share these tips so you can see them for yourself. So I would really appreciate it if you could press the like button on this video and subscribe to my channel, because I have some really good guides that will be coming out very soon. Anyway, thanks again for watching and see you next time.